Hello everyone, I'm Lynette. Do you ever notice if you hesitate before making that very first mark on the paper or the canvas? Well, today's abstract exploration is all about breaking free from perfectionism. I know you know all about that. We'll be playing in ways that celebrate happy accidents and unexpected beauty. Sometimes the most interesting parts of our art and our lives come from embracing what we didn't plan. So let's get started and join me. And speaking of breaking free from perfectionism, you'll notice I've already made a few early marks on these pieces. I thought I hit record at the beginning, but apparently I didn't. This was really one of those days, and I thought, I'm just going to keep on going so you can see that not everything works out as planned. And that feels like the perfect metaphor for this whole video. I came here to talk about letting go of perfectionism, and clearly it's not just in the painting, it's in the process too. So what you're seeing now is I've sped up this video a bit so I can just talk to you as we go. You're going to see me experimenting, adding some bold lines, which really wasn't a very good choice, layering color, making some strange choices along the way. And that's what this is, an invitation to stay present, to trust your instincts, and to keep moving, even when you're not quite sure where it's going. And this is how it was for me in this video. I didn't really know what I was going to do and how I was going to start. It had been a few days since I'd been in the studio, and I thought I really have to get back into it. So what am I going to do? And here I started doing squares and lines on top. I just was absolutely lost on what to do. And you're going to see throughout this that I really did make some choices that were covered up afterwards. Have you ever gone into the studio and not known what you were going to make? And I'd actually done 5 of these little things because I thought, one out of these 5 is going to work out. It should work out. Maybe a bonus of 2. So I keep working on this, and just like I tell people that ask me about how I start or how I get through this, is I put some marks on the page and then I just respond to what's happening, to how I feel, to what the brush just did. But with those lines and those squares, that just did not work for me. So they're wiped off a little bit. Let's continue on. It'll still be part of the process because it is what I did, and maybe it will add to it. So much of the time, art, it's just like life. It isn't about having control. It's about building a relationship with change. And so here, now I've done the change. I have some lines underneath, straight lines, and I'm just going to work with them. I put the curves on over top, and now I'm going to relate to them and see what happens. And as you're watching this, please remember that this is sped up, and also I did edit parts out where I just stood there and stared at these paintings and thought, what the heck am I going to do? So I had turned off the recordings of it. And then just like this video started, I forgot to restart it again. So like this, oh my gosh, like I came up with this great idea in my mind of, let's put some dark paint on here. What was I thinking? That was not a good thing. So I had stopped the video, pondered a long time, and then just sort of rubbed it off. And then again, I forgot to start the video again. So this is just a lesson on life doesn't always go as planned in the day of an artist. So now it feels like I'm not just in the messy middle part. It even feels like it's the murky middle. Just nothing seems to be working. And I just keep trying things, doing things, trying different marks. Either it's a bit too dark, it's a bit too light, it's too flat, it's too layered, it's not layered enough. I almost feel like I'm going backwards at times. I had it dark, now I have it light. Rub things off, put things on again. I try another one, hoping that I can spark some inspiration or something I like in one of these. It's going to happen. And part of me just wants to grab a new piece of paper and just start over. Try thin lines. Is that going to work? And this determination to keep experimenting, and also just maybe even as just keeping up the curiosity. At times I switch and I just think of, okay, this is just going to be collage afterwards. So let's just experiment and see what I can do and what the marks are. And I don't think so much of composition. And I try different brushes, different marks. Experimenting with just my tools now, seeing if that's going to spark any difference. And since I don't seem to be getting anywhere with just the blues, a little more turquoise comes in. I like turquoise. It's one of my favorite colors. Although I must say, I have not met a blue that I have not liked. What's your favorite color that you like working with? I like neutrals and I like blues. So I'm not quitting. I'm not giving up. I'm just seeing what the creativity is teaching me today. And I'm having that attitude that I'm willing to sit with it and work with it. I'll start to make smaller, more intentional decisions. I'll soften areas that feel a little bit too harsh. Letting quiet shapes peek through, covering up some things that didn't work, adding some more color. I'll leave things that have surprised me. It feels a lot like editing your life. We get to ask ourselves what still feels true in our life and what no longer fits, and then we discard that. And we can make those choices for ourselves in our life, and we make them in our paintings. And then sometimes it's just listening to ourselves, listening to the paintings, because sometimes I feel like my paintings, they have their own opinions. Sometimes they go, nope, not that color, that's not working, try again. And they can be right. And there are times in this process that because I don't have any plan or any reason, it's just intuition that this is happening. Some marks I make, I think, oh, that was a terrible idea. Some I cover up, but others I don't. And I leave them. And I leave them because it wasn't perfect. And it was honest. And I think that's something we all need reminders of. That to make that mark of whether it's boldness or just a different mark is part of the process. And not every move will feel perfect or graceful or as it's supposed to be. But every move, every mark we make teaches us something. And now I'm at the point where I start asking myself, does it need any more? What's enough? I'm thinking I need to add one more color. Blend it, make it softer. All of a sudden I want something soft in these. I don't know where that's coming from. Cover things up. Make it not as definite in the shapes, more subtle. Is it because I want peace, more comfort, just because I want these things finished? I'm not quite sure. And at times I stopped this video and I just pondered and paused and stared at them and looked at the details in them. And as I go back and I'm looking at them again in the video, because you see things different in the video as opposed to when you're painting it live, things always look different. And I go back, and I've mentioned this before, I do want an undo button in real life so that I can savor what I see there and I think, oh, I loved what I did, and I just went ahead and kept on moving and kept on painting and covered it all up. And I guess that's the process. Learning how to pause more often. Learning how to take a breath more often. I know this looks like I'm not pausing because it's all sped up. That's the beauty of editing. And it seems that the more I paint, the more I don't always ask myself, is it good? And instead I ask, do I feel connected to it? And I think that's one of the great lessons I've learned from painting, and really from this next chapter in life, because the goal isn't to impress anyone. It's to recognize when something feels real and to know that you can stop when you feel ready, not when someone else tells you to stop or if you don't have the right things in the painting. Sometimes I joke that my paintings tell me when they're done, usually because they're getting stubborn and refuse to cooperate anymore. Otherwise, I put them in a corner and see what they're going to say for a while, and then they come out. And as I work on these 5 little abstract paintings, each one has its own story. They're imperfect. Some of them surprised me. Some of them challenged me. Okay, well, really, all of them challenged me. And all of them showed me more about perseverance and curiosity and experimentation. It was a continuation of finding out what I like and what makes me smile and happy when I'm creating. And I hope in some way this video also has given you the outlook to explore your own creative voice. And creativity really in any way, whether that means painting or writing or dancing, gardening, or even just to pause long enough to see what you love and to be aware of what you love, what makes you happy. I hope this video felt like a soft landing or even a spark of inspiration for you. And now here's a fun part. I love taking this mat and putting it on top of the paintings. It finishes it off and it gives a different look to it. I see it in a new way. Just like when I see it, if I take photos of it and look at it in the camera, or if I look at it in a mirror, it looks differently. All of a sudden, when I put this frame on, it looks more complete, more finished. Or it shows me what I need to put in there to make it more finished. It's always great to turn it around, see which way I like it best. There's usually 1 or 2 ways that I like it more than the others. And please let me know which ones you like. I'd love to hear from you. And this is the last thought. Keep tending to whatever you love to do, even if it's quietly that you're doing it, even if it's messy, because the world needs more of what's real. And you're real, and you're very needed. You matter, and your creativity matters. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe, because I'll be making more videos. And share it with your friends. Thank you. Until next time.